Hello, my name is Ryan Vigil, and I am the Assistant Executive Director of Artists for Local Agriculture.
All right, Ryan, what is Artists for Local Agriculture?
Well, Artists for Local Agriculture is a nonprofit organization. It's based out of Salt Lake City. We started about 2 years ago, and our mission is to unite the artistic community in support of sustainable urban gardening.
How long have you been working with AFLA?
So I've been involved roughly a year.
So now you're the Assistant Executive Director
Yes,
of AFLA.
fancy name.
That's amazing.
No, yeah, thank you. Getting there was a task in itself, and I feel really honored and privileged. So I was able to move up the ranks pretty quickly, but I based that on the fact that I was really invested in this. My emotions were invested in this. This was even before I started taking classes about sustainability and the environment at the University of Utah. You know, what I found was that the people who want to make the difference are the people who are going to be put in the positions to make a difference. You have to assert yourself in order to do that. And, you know, a year ago I didn't know anything about gardening or the local community. I wasn't involved. You know, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. And now I know, you know, scores of farmers. I know all sorts of awesome bands and artists and, you know, really big players in the community.
Tell me a little bit about AFLA and what you guys do for the community and for these local artists in Salt Lake City, Utah.
What we do is we provide a platform for people to be role models for the community. And we focus that through teaching people sustainable gardening techniques. So what that encompasses is we make artists leaders, we make musicians leaders, we're highly involved with local farmers, we have them speak at almost every event we have. We have benefit concerts for them by year, twice a year. What our goal was to use all of the power of artists and musicians and what they can convey to the public and how they can skillfully, you know, portray that to the public. And we wanted to use that for a good cause,
Right.
for something that everyone has a stake in. And that thing happened to be food.
So can you tell me a few things that stand out to you that AFLA has accomplished within the last year?
So a couple of things that stand out this year was the completion of our Rail Yard Community Art Garden. And that was really, really a huge accomplishment for us. We spent most of the year raising funds to actually build the garden, which is attached to the Utah Art Alliance building downtown. And it's really a special environment because it's a place for people to grow food, and it's a place for people to express themselves artistically. That is, you know, we have a stage, we have a giant chalk wall, we have everything's head to toe mulch, so we hold classes there, art classes, music classes, drum classes, you name it, workshops to build garden boxes, benefit concerts.
So how often do you guys hold those events?
So we opened up on October 19th. So far we've had an event every single month, and the first two went really well. First one was our grand opening, and the second was a benefit for the homeless, and we paired up with the Legacy Initiative of Salt Lake City, and we did a canned food drive and coat drive with live music, local artists, and we had farmers speak at the event and talk about, you know, the issues and how we can all gang together through the arts to tackle them.
AFLA's come a long ways then, right? You guys just opened October 19th, 2013. Was that even an idea a year ago? I mean, obviously it was, but I feel like you guys have advanced so far within this year.
I always thought the organization itself would still be alive, but I didn't know we would reach such great heights.
So do you have to be a member to be a part of AFLA?
Absolutely not. You don't have to be a member. We'd love for you to be a member. There's actually no process to become a quote-unquote member. We like to be pretty open about things, but we're totally accessible. We have a Facebook. You guys will see the link later. We have a website up, and we have our email address, aflarevolution@gmail.com. And through that, we have board members who handle all of the volunteering process, And I usually typically head up every Saturday workshop, and the workshops kind of vary from the season. In the summer, we were working hard on the garden and building the stage and all the other cool implements that we have. And now we kind of moved with the colder temperatures. We moved it inside a workshop that's adjacent to the garden, and we're doing how to build garden boxes out of recycled pallets. Get a good system down for that.
Really, anybody can volunteer then.
We're a very open environment. We have kids volunteering. We have dancers volunteering. All you have to do is email us, hit us up on Facebook, comment anything, and I guarantee within 24 hours someone will hit you back up with where to go, when to go.
So where is the garden located at?
It's right by the train hub. That's why we call it the Rail Yard Community Art Garden. But we kind of put it there because it was a spot to do it at. It was an empty, vacant lot. I mean, when we first came to it, the weeds were taller than us, and it was that way for a good while until we started working on it, and we really became attached to it because we were re-beautifying an area that has a reputation, a pretty nasty reputation. There's a lot of drug dealers down there. You have a lot of concert venues, bars, and there's some nasty stuff that goes down there. But I think we have to introduce civility into those areas if we want them to change.
Absolutely.
It's hard for people to do those sort of things in an area where people are active and engaged and really care about their surroundings, and a lot of it's been neglected downtown.
Right. I mean, I feel like there's an empty lot almost on every block downtown or somewhere, and it would be amazing to see those utilized as a garden and as a community.
Really. And, here's the kicker. Some of Utah's most fertile ground for growing fruits, vegetables, that all the pioneers came here to do and talked, this is the place. That's right here on the east side of Salt Lake City. It's all urbanized. It's all taken over. Where they're doing all the farming now are really second fiddle. That's the fringe soil. And so, we have these empty lots with a lot of potential. And I know farmers who do a system that they allow a family to take a portion of their harvest if they do a garden in their backyard. And they're able to produce amazing, amazing gardens out of this soil. So right. It's all about just reclaiming it and using what's not being used. It's a conceptualization of property. If it's not being used, then why should you have it?
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. I feel like if everybody had that empty lot on their block, they could, those neighbors could get together and have a community garden. Yeah, it would take time, but imagine how much food that could help and how many families that could help with just that local area that's just sitting there. I mean, It's not doing anything but collecting weeds.
Yeah, and we're coming to a time and a period in history where it's going to become a necessity. You see giant urban fallouts like Detroit. I mean, people are stranded in an urban area because all the houses within 10 square miles got foreclosed on and abandoned. So what are they going to go an hour and a half to go get groceries? When they're already disenfranchised minorities that don't have the opportunities or the money to make those good choices. So people are going to have to start looking at these alternatives.
Well, I feel like food insecurity is something that definitely is pushed under the rug.
It really is, and it's all about when collective action at levels of governance are no longer working and they cannot get anything done, then the responsibility is transferred onto the individual or the individual firms. We have to start owning the luxuries that we enjoy. We have to realize the externals costs. We have to realize what it takes to get water pumped all year long and pump drinking water into your gardens. And we're going to have to make a change. What needs to happen is a lot of people are feeling like this. A lot of people, more people are mad at the government, but a lot of people are they sense this. They know that they shouldn't be eating Burger King every day. They know that the convenience factor, but what we need to do is we need to make it palatable to people. We need to encourage the change. And I think that's going to be a big obstacle for us right now, because right now all we encourage as a society is individual achievement through monetary gains. So if we do nothing but uphold the biggest winners and look up to all the wealthiest of us, where does everything else go?
Right.
Because their whole system is based upon attaining money.
So, is there any event coming up soon?
Every Saturday still, we are holding workshops. If you come by to the garden, I'd love to see you. I'll be in the cube, all huddled up in a bunch of warm clothes, building garden boxes, and also maintaining our compost piles. We kind of made a big push to, it was kind of another community engagement. We wanted to do our own organic composting. And so with a little advice, we discovered that we needed really good compost comes from raw food scraps, veggie food scraps, and coffee grounds and teas, because that adds nitrogen into it, and the raw food scraps add everything else. So we've been teaming up with Salt Lake Roasting Company, and we get some of their coffee grounds. They give us their coffee grounds. A lot of places will give you their coffee grounds. But also with Omar's Rawtopia, located in Sugar House. They're a really awesome all-vegan restaurant. They give us, buckets and buckets every week that we're able to incorporate into those composting piles, which will really set us up to be able to, fill a lot of garden boxes for people and do it in a manner that was, basically totally free.
Right.
All the work was volunteer, and all the materials besides gas. The horse manure was donated that we used. The food scraps were donated. All the time was donated.
So these garden boxes, who are you building them for?
So the garden boxes, it's kind of a twofold thing. We're going to have them build some from us, and then we're going to let them take home a full one, right? Like a ready-to-go one. Because our objective is to get these garden boxes out to schools, to churches, to, places where you wouldn't normally see a garden box, to kind of put a little reminder in people's, and say, look, you can do it, and we already set up the soils and kind of showed you how to do it. So our programs is usually we have the volunteer help us build 3 boxes, and then we build one for them. And that one we can, personalize, we can go through, do cool stuff, and we teach them actually, the process of the composting and what that's doing to the soil and how that's going to affect your plant and what you're going to need to do. And then the ones that we build, we distribute back into the community.
Awesome. So are you giving these boxes away, or do you have to buy them? What's the process there?
If we see the need, we will give the boxes away. But we have a special line of boxes that are going to be our premium line of boxes. They're going to have custom artwork. They're going to be built out of a little sturdier materials, still all reclaimed, but it'll be a little more aesthetically pleasing with some artistic touch from a local artist, of course. But these we encourage local businesses to get into our sponsorship program. And so, we'll negotiate it out for the price, but we want to get them to, represent us or, put flyers out, and then we will provide this for them, and we'll even, take care of it, show them how to take care of it, and give them soil every year to keep maintaining it.
Wow.
And it's all we really want is a little, a voice in the community saying, we support this and we support the message that they're behind.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
I think AFLA will become, a major player in the sustainability scene in Salt Lake City. We have been able to see an influx in volunteers and people who are interested and willing to give their time for this cause, and now we're taking off. We're pairing up. Next year is going to be a whole hullabaloo of events. We'll do a big fundraiser in spring, but I feel like you'll see AFLA gardens in a lot of places. You're going to see them at the schools. You're going to see them downtown, and I think you are going to hear a lot more about food injustices.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see where AFLA is going to be next year. I can only imagine the growth. It's been really cool to see.
Thank you.